Your nightly news with Rachel Williams begins now.
Good evening, everyone. After days of speculation, former Labor MP Madeleine Ogilvie will seek to replace the retiring Scott Bacon. Ms Ogilvie took to social media this afternoon to confirm her place in the recount for the seat of Clark. After years of tensions, she quit the party and unsuccessfully ran as an independent in this year's upper house elections. Today, she refused to rule out sitting as an independent, but won't make a decision until after the result.
No doubt there's a number of other important conversations that we'll need to have. That's the appropriate time to have them.
Ms Ogilvie represented Denison from 2014 until her defeat at last year's state election. Residents opposed to a 9-storey hotel near Launceston's Tamar River are rallying for a new site to be chosen. More than 50 residents walked from Home Point to Kings Park this morning to protest against the development, which has been approved by the Launceston City Council. The group's main concern is the height of the building, which they believe is excessive.
To indicate to people just how high this building is at 39.5 metres, people don't realise how big it's going to be, and we're trying to demonstrate that by flying balloons. We have no objection to new hotels, indeed we welcome them, but this hotel's in the wrong site and the wrong place. It's on the premier pedestrian route into the Cataract Gorge.
The Launceston Heritage Not High-Rise Group hope to have the decision overturned, with the project currently before the Resource Management and Planning Appeal Tribunal. South Hobart residents are demanding extra information regarding the proposed Mount Wellington cable car project. The local Progress Association held a community forum last night, which also called on the council to force the company behind the project to fund road upgrades out of their own pocket.
Proponents of the Mount Wellington cable car claim it'll ease traffic issues around the summit. But the South Hobart Progress Association is concerned it'll actually increase congestion in an already struggling area.
I know as President of the Association, the biggest issue we ever confront and debate is traffic arrangement.
The association held a community forum last night. It wants 30 pieces of information on the project, including plans for a T-junction around the Cascade Gardens area. They also want Hobart Council to rule out funding the changes.
It's by far the community's biggest issue, and as I said, adding another 600 cars a day to that problem is not going to help.
Chairman Chris Oldfield says the cable car will help reduce the amount of vehicles on the roads.
We'll be taking cars off the road and replacing them with a hydro-driven cable car. So we think that we can actually reduce the load.
He's also confirmed the company will fund some infrastructure upgrades, but they'll also seek assistance.
Work with the local community and with council and with the state government to see how we may be part of a total planning solution.
And both sides are at odds over last night's meeting. Mr Hoysted says the company was invited to attend.
I didn't get any official response, and I don't think they were there.
However, Mr Oldfield says he and other directors only knew about the meeting the day before.
First I heard about it was, I think, an article in the paper on Friday, so we were not invited to last night's meeting.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Today marks 50 years since Lucille Butterworth disappeared from a Hobart bus stop, never to be seen again. Her family is currently holding a vigil to mark the occasion, remaining hopeful they'll one day find her. Our reporter John Hunt is there and joins us now. John, what's the mood like there?
Rachel, there's a solemn feeling here tonight as friends, family and locals gather 5 decades after she disappeared. A vigil has just got underway to remember the 20-year-old. They've gathered at the spot where Ms Butterworth was last seen in 1969. She's been remembered as a kind and caring person who was taken from this world too soon. Lucille vanished on her way to a Miss Tasmania contest after being dropped at a Claremont bus stop by a friend. Despite numerous searches, which included 14 dives in the Derwent River, no trace has been found of her. Her brother John Butterworth has been overwhelmed by the support shown to the family. He says while many years have passed, the family hasn't given up hope of eventually finding her body.
See us ever giving up, and maybe this might, jog someone's memory. One day we will find her.
In In 2016, the coroner's inquest named Jeffrey Charles Hunt as the person responsible for her death. He's always denied involvement in her disappearance. Despite these findings, the DPP declined to proceed with a criminal prosecution. Rachel?
Okay, thank you for that update there, John. The parents of a Tasmanian girl who is fighting a rare and deadly cancer have made a desperate plea to help save her life. 3-year-old Eleanor has run out of options in Australia, and her only hope now is an expensive treatment in the US.
You have to admire the big heart of this tiny Tassie champion. Eleanor Oakley shows no fear, but her body is battling a deadly disease, a rare stage 4 cancer called neuroblastoma.
I guess it's a terrifying journey starting to research neuroblastoma.
The shock discovery was made 18 months ago.
We started to notice that Eleanor had become quite unwell and the cancer diagnosis was a result of multiple trips to the emergency department in Hobart.
She was declared cancer-free in April, but in a cruel twist, a new tumour was discovered 3 weeks ago. Surgeons have now removed that tumour, but the cancer has spread.
We've got deep sadness within us. And yeah, huge anxiety. We go to sleep thinking, we wake up in the middle of the night thinking about what's going to happen, and it basically never leaves our thoughts.
Now despair has turned to determination. Rob and Jackie are rushing to raise enough money in time for a new clinical trial in the United States, which will attack the remaining cancer cells. It's enormously expensive.
We had a lower quote for $300,000.
Which is why their firefighter friends are responding to the alarm.
They do everything for other people, and now they really need some help from everyone to help them.
Her only option is this treatment, and we need to get her there.
They're organising local fundraisers to help, while there's also an online GoFundMe page called Eleanor's Fight, where more than half of the money needed has been donated.
This is a little girl that has no choice. This is her life. This is a little girl we want to grow up and have a future.
A brave fight for a very brave young girl. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmanian News.
A government program helping Tasmanian children afford to play sport has been extended for another year. Ticket to Play vouchers provide up to $100 towards club memberships for players aged between 5 and 17 years of age. It follows a successful pilot program last year, which led to a spike in the East Devonport Football Club's junior ranks.
It's only a couple of years ago, unfortunately, this footy club was in the position that we didn't have any junior football. We've gone from nothing to having an under-12 side and a junior girls side. Looking at next year, we're pretty confident we've got an under-14 side and maybe, who knows, an under-16 side.
Ticket to Play vouchers are among more than 90 discounts available through the program, which also includes concessions for utility bills, public transport and healthcare. A Tasmanian job seeker says a backlog of people wanting to sit their driver's licence test is preventing him from finding work. Sean Clayton claims his hopes of starting a building apprenticeship have been put on ice due to a 3-month wait to sit the test.
It stopped me from getting the apprenticeship, I believe, anyway, last year with Voss, and will probably do the exact same thing to me this year again, and with other employers as well.
There's 13,000 more Tasmanians who've got jobs now than when we came to government, and the unemployment rate for youth has dropped by 2%. There's plenty more to do, but we'll keep going the way we're going.
State Labor says changes to the test following this year's budget have caused the backlog. 2 iconic sports car manufacturers will headline next month's 10th anniversary of Baskerville Historics. Australian brand Elephant will be on show alongside Morris Mini Coopers in the event's popular grid walk, giving fans the chance to see the famous cars close up.
The whole historic scene was far less complicated in the day. The cars were colourful, they weren't covered in sponsor decals. And I think everyone relates to the glory days, and that's what historic motorsport is all about.
250 classic cars are expected to enter this year's edition, which revs into gear from the 20th to the 22nd of September.
To the TSL, and North Launceston has cemented its claim as competition flag favourites with a resounding win over Glenorchy on the road overnight, while the Tassie Devils' hopes of playing NAB League finals have been dashed in gut-wrenching fashion. They've been the benchmark all season, and last night was no exception for the Northern Bombers on the hostile turf of KG5, with the visitors taking a 10-point lead into the first change thanks to 2 late majors. From there, things got ugly for the Pies, with the home side managing just the one second quarter goal as the reigning premiers fired up, extending the margin to 21 points heading into the long break. Wet weather making for a scrappy second half of footy as goals proved few and far between. North Launceston going on to sew up the minor premiership with a 51-point win. Meanwhile, the Devils' NAB League season has come to an end with a narrow loss to the Quarter Cannons in Melbourne, hoping to secure a spot in finals courtesy of today's wildcard round. The Tassie boys kept themselves right in it against the Victorians, battling tooth and nail until the final siren before going down by just 6 points. To the TSLW, and Launceston has finished the home and away season undefeated after a convincing win against North Launceston in its fixture at Windsor Park today. The Blues were far too good for crosstown rivals, with AFLW star Daria Bannister again instrumental with 2 goals, while full forward Bree Rattray kicked 4. The back line, led by best on-ground Georgia Hill, were ruthless, keeping the Bombers goalless for the game. Launceston running out 80-point winners. And the first round finals fixture for the TSL and TSLW has been revealed, with Launceston to take on Kingborough in the TSL elimination final at Windsor Park, as Lauderdale and Glenorchy prepare to clash in the qualifying final at Blunston Arena, which is set to follow the TSLW semi between Clarence and North Launceston. Somerset's Corin Bacon has taken the honours in today's round of the Barry Richardson Medal Grass Track Series in Yola. The teenager edged out reigning champion Jonty Reindeers and Bailey Davies on the podium. Bacon is now heading to SA for the Australian Off-Road Championships, while the final round of the Grass Track Series will take place in Sprent later this year. And a group of Tasmanian Lawn Bowl aces are hoping to roll their way to glory, with a 5-man team from the Kingborough Bowls Club off to Queensland next month to compete in the Australian Five-a-Side Championships.
I'm very excited. It's one of the top events in Australian bowls. We'll be playing against all the Australian players, New Zealand teams, and a few from overseas.
Well, there's a lot of good players that play for Australia and other countries in the world, but I reckon we're capable of taking it up to them and trying our best and seeing what we can come out with.
The 4-day championships will take place at Broadbeach beginning on September 2nd.
Good evening. Temperatures 1 to 3 degrees below average today across the state. Hobart 11 degrees, Launceston 14, 13 for both Burnie and Devonport. 15 was the high today at Eddystone Point. St Helens and Friendly Beaches 14, King and Flinders Islands 13, 13 also at Smithton and Low Head, Ouse and Strawn 12, 11 at Maria Island and Grove, while Lyowini managed to make it to just 3 degrees today. Speckled low-level cloud is seen here moving across Tasmania from the west today. High-level cloud over central and southeastern areas, while the northeast was a mostly cloud-free day. Low-level cloud is covering the eastern bight and sits in between Tasmania and New Zealand. Thunderstorms are being triggered by a mid-level trough in central WA. Low-level cloud is over southeast Queensland, while the remainder of the country is mostly cloud-free. Tomorrow a high sits over the southern shores of the mainland. That high extends a ridge into the Northern Territory. Troughs are seen through Queensland and coastal Western Australia. Westerly winds 15 to 25 knots, reaching 30 knots about the south. Tending north to northwesterly in the east in the afternoon. Seas 1 to 2 metres, up to 3 metres in the south. A strong wind warning is current for southern coastal waters from Tasman Island to Low Rocky Point. Tomorrow in Hobart, a partly cloudy day, 15. Dover, a shower or two, 14. 14 also at Ouse, with a partly cloudy day there. An afternoon shower or two in Launceston tomorrow, reaching a maximum of 15 degrees. Devonport, a shower or two and 14. 13 at Scottsdale, partly cloudy there with an early frost. Burnie, a shower or two, 14. Showers at Strawn, 12. 13 at Stanley with a shower or two. In St Helens, we can expect a mostly sunny day, reaching a high of 17. 17 also for Swansea and sunny. Ross 14. Showers about the northwest and far south on Tuesday. Wednesday, those showers will extend statewide around midday and snow expected down to 600 metres in the evening. Thursday, showers in the west, south and east of the state, fine elsewhere. A sunny day tomorrow for much of the country, apart from Sydney, expecting showers and 16 degrees. Currently in Hobart, it's 9 and partly cloudy. Launceston, partly cloudy and 9. Devonport, mostly clear, 8.
Well, that's all your news for now. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great week. Good night.